Hey guys, this video is really all about this beautiful red 2025 all-new Nissan Armada. But in this video, I wanted to give you a little bit of perspective. Old versus new. Well, this is basically a 2024 model, previous generation, and this new 2025 model. Nissan calls it all new, but I kind of wanted to show you some of the comparison between these two generations, and also the heritage of the Armada that dates back really to the 60s, 1960s and 1950s with the Nissan Patrol and the patrol vehicle that's available overseas. So in this video, I'm gonna kind of focus on this guy, but side by side, you'll be able to see it next to the previous generation, at least right here. And immediately what stands out is the front end styling. The new front end is taller, bolder, bigger. Overall, the size of the vehicle didn't change much, but just looking at them side by side, the older one looks quite a bit lower. And let me actually show you what's happening from the rear end. And here you can kind of see both of these also from the back. And yeah, quite distinct, different. There's no mistaking, at least visually, that the new one is changed. And Nissan also says that the chassis has been redesigned, so the frame, it's still a body-on-frame vehicle, still basically truck-based, still huge, still has capability to carry up to 8 people, 3 in the third row, 3 in the center, and 2 in the front. But the one you're looking at here is the new top of the line model, Platinum Reserve. And boy, just wait until you see it inside of this thing. But the hugest change really is under the hood. So let me pop the hood here. Here we go. It's been raining here near Nashville, Tennessee for the last day and a half. So I apologize if there's a little bit of road water and grime. That's because of the rains. So there's no more V8. So that hood has a V8 under it, which is a 5.6 liter V8. This is a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6. So this is kind of the latest trend, of course, in trucks. Downsizing displacements, going to fewer cylinders, but also increasing horsepower. 425 horsepower in this new V6 twin turbo versus 400 in that big V8 based on regular fuel, so not premium fuel. And 516 pound-feet of torque, low-end torque versus about 412 there. So this has 100 pound-feet more of torque, and the torque comes in sooner on this engine than the old V8. And the efficiencies should be better as well. I don't have all the EPA numbers quite at this point, but the old V8 4x4 Armada was rated at 18 highway, 14 city. So the efficiency should come up quite a lot. Now get ready to see the inside of this brand new Armada. Like I said, this is top of the line, top dog, and it shows. You can see all 3 rows. There is no skimping in the rear rows too. Every row basically gets the same quality seats. And the Nissan calls this zero gravity. I mean, they've had this for years and years and years, and they're introducing this technology to the Armada. By the way, while I'm here, I wanted to show you 1,466 pounds of payload. Quite competitive for a fully laden, fully optioned brand new Armada. And the gross vehicle weight rating right here is 7810. So this is still a pretty hefty vehicle, about 6,400 pounds overall of curb weight. But just look at this quality, beautiful craftsmanship. I think it really stands out. And I'll power this up and you'll be able to see it. They switched from a console shifter to piano transmission shifter. This transmission is a 9-speed. Basically, mechanically, it's identical to the outgoing Titan truck and the current Nissan Frontier. But according to Nissan, the tuning is all new. All right, so now if I power this up, the whole machine comes to life. Here, let me give you a slightly wider view. The base new Armada comes with dual 12-inch displays. This is not a base version. It comes with dual 14-inch plus screens, and it's got a Google-based operating system, so you already can see Google Maps. You could address it, you search it, you can use your voice activation, you can do all the things you're used to. Wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto are enabled here, so you can pair your phone and just use all the tech available in this. Here is your transfer case settings. So 4-wheel drive auto is basically what it's in right now, and this is what you use every day, basically all-wheel drive. So it will prefer rear axle power, but it will adjust depending on conditions and give you the best traction day to day. Then you can also kind of lock it into 4 high, kind of if you're on dirt roads, on gravel, you can use that. If you're a little bit more adventurous, you can use 4 low. And there is also a new Pro 4X off-road edition of the Armada that I'll show you just a little bit later when I look at the heritage of the Armada. And then here would be a locking differential if this was equipped, like on a Pro 4X, and the traction control button. And drive modes. There's many, very many drive modes. And I can kind of show you, kind of cycle through them. Tow haul mode, this will still pull 8,500 pounds. So the towing didn't change, the rating didn't change. And I'll be pulling a trailer with this soon. So stay tuned for that. And here I can kind of show you also some of the menus that you could see. Hold on a second. Okay. By the way, it also has this fully optioned one, has ProPilot 2.1, so hands-free driving. There is a monitor right there that monitors your eyes, but on pre-mapped highways, you will be able to use hands-free driving. So on road trips, this should be very, very helpful. Here we go. I can show you a couple different. You can look at your all-wheel drive system. You could look at navigation, your music media, your driver assist technologies. You can set up your screens in different ways. Here we go. And also look at your efficiencies, your ride height. This does have height adjustable air suspension. There's normal height. And then for off-road modes, there's 2 inches up or egress 2 inches down. So you have all that. And you have paddle shifters here as well. And a very, very luxurious steering wheel. It feels really good to my hand. Also for towing, since I'm talking about towing, the trailer brake controller is way up high. It's available here on Platinum Reserve and Pro 4X. I wish it was more available on kind of the base models, but Nissan also really kept the base model of the Armada for 2025, the all-new one. They maintained the price identical. So it basically starts, including the $2,010 destination charge, it starts at just over $58,000. So if you've had a Nissan SUV, maybe a previous Armada, maybe some other SUV, and you're looking to move up to this next generation truck, because I mean it is very nice in here. If you are thinking about that, then you could do it in a base level two-wheel drive without any change in price, generation over generation. So that I think is really, really cool. Of course, other models will be more expensive. This one starts at around 78,000 plus destination, so about $80,000 for a fully optioned, by the way, panoramic sunroof here as well. Let me open it all the way up. So it goes basically from around 58,000 for a two-wheel drive base Armada, all the way to a fully laden one, fully optioned one, luxurious one like this at just over $80,000, and that's competitive. Actually, the starting price of under 60,000 is way less than the new 2025 Chevy Tahoe, because that starts over 60,000. It's even less than a Toyota Sequoia hybrid. It's less than a Ford Expedition, the brand new one, refreshed one for 2025. So here for 2025, Nissan is being very aggressive with their pricing, and that's quite. I like to see that. I really like that. Oh, dash cam. Let me pull this up. You can kind of see what's happening on the dash cam. You could take a photo. You can kind of remember that. It'll be stored in a micro SD card. If you have an incident, you can also record this, or sometimes it records on its own. In an event of an accident, it will save up to about, I think, 1 or 3 minutes, or an adjustable amount of time. There's also infrared sensor here, so it can monitor the kind of facial temperature of your passengers. And by the way, here's a little pass-through between the captain chairs in the front. Cup holder, but you can still move through. And there's 3 seat belts, 3 seats in the back. The rear seat is not maybe the roomiest of all new SUVs in the segment, including the Tahoe and also the Jeep Wagoneer. But it's still very, very usable. I really like that they maintain their stocks, light control here, wiper control here, all your features for cruise control, volume, and your menus is here. It's kind of traditional. I mean, I don't have to relearn anything here. Heated seats, climate control, switches and toggles, fan speed, heated steering wheel. Other than this, I don't really love the piano keys, even though there's a little bit indentation, so you don't have to kind of look down. But I have a tendency to look down to find these keys. So moving in the parking lot fast, switching between rear and drive, I have to get used to that, and that's not my favorite thing. Also cameras. This has see-through hood, so if I was moving, it would actually show me a little bit of what's happening underneath my wheels. And so you could also do this, which is I'm impressed with. You could share that view on both screens. So you can really, if you're maneuvering in a tight place, you have a lot of options and a lot of angles, and kind of peek around the front corners of the vehicle, and also high resolution. I really like this. You can kind of see what the tires are in the front. So the camera system is top notch, is way better than before. Before you couldn't, obviously you didn't have ability to share both screens. You didn't have high definition cameras, high resolution cameras. So I'm sorry to say, as much as we love the older Armada, this tech is better. The brake controller is up high. I love this, easy to reach. It's kind of hidden by the steering wheel here sometimes for the driver, but it's within easy reach. You don't have to kind of hunt for it on the under the dash, or hunt for it in here. The wireless charger, cup holders. This is closed. Nissan's been building SUVs since 1951. So You can see that there. Yeah, let me know what you think overall as far as the design and styling of this new Armada. There's a clip stereo system, very, very fancy. Rear camera mirror, also quite fancy. And yeah, this is really laden. This is very laden with tech. So, including, of course, your gauges, your settings, your speed, your tach, very traditional. So I think you're not going to be kind of wondering about learning this vehicle. You can just jump in and go. So let me know what you think. This is kind of my old versus new, and let me right now switch shots, and I'm gonna show you the heritage in the 1960s, and a very, very handsome old Patrol, Nissan Patrol. Let's go there right now. Here you can see the new Pro 4X off-road version, but right next to it is this, what I think is a very handsome and quite amazing old school Nissan. And this is a 1969, that's what Nissan says, Nissan Patrol. And if you know some of the heritage of the Armada, you would know that Patrol, of course, was the beginning. They actually have a 1959 logo in the inside of the new Armada, which is right there, since 1959. But these two machines have something in common, actually two things in common, and I'll let you know in just in a few minutes what they are. And actually, I didn't know this until this year, but Nissan actually sold old school Patrols in the United States from 1962 to 1969, and this happens to be one of the more recent examples of that run. But they didn't sell very many of them, and I haven't seen really one in the wild or in person until this very moment. But I've learned a lot about this little truck in a very short period of time, so I wanted to show you some key aspects of it. Actually, there might be three things in common between the new Armada and this. Now, if you take a look inside, first of all, I wish we had smell-o-vision, because this interior just smells like a 1960s vehicle. And by that I mean it's got leather, it's got steel, it's got a little bit of oil smell. It's got that very, or at least for me, kind of nostalgic feeling. I'm not, of course, as old as 1969, but still, I've been around older vehicles for a lot of my life. So actually being inside of this one just kind of rushes a lot of the kind of memories. But here's one common thing. This old school Patrol has push to start. Haha! Yes, you turn the key and you push to start. So that's one thing in common between this and some of the new vehicles. Take a look down here. So it's got a 3-speed manual. You can kind of see it here. Very, very simple. 1, 2, 3, reverse. And then it has a four-wheel drive system. Of course, it has to. So it's got low range, high range, and neutral, and forward or rear drive, or basically rear wheel drive selector here, and then low range selector right here between low and high. So dual sticks. It's got a wonderful air conditioning system with these little louvers that let the air in inside, and a little bit of ventilation defrost that comes on, and also electrically powered windshield wipers. And you basically, let's see, how many seat belts do we have? Well, we have a seat belt here in the front. So basically you could put maybe up to 3 people in the front and a couple people on each side. So you could actually load it up. This reminds me, of course, of an FJ40 old school Land Cruiser as well. But a lot of this is metal. All right, what is the second thing that's in common? Oh, did you hear that? Bam. This has a 6-cylinder engine, and so does this. So the new Armada 2025 model is moving away from the V8 that was in there before, and now this is a twin turbocharged 3.5 liter V6 with 425 horsepower on regular unleaded pump gas. This has also a 6-cylinder engine, but it's very different. It's an inline 6, it's a 4 liter, and 135 horsepower. Not a lot of power, but if you know anything about inline 6 engines, gasoline or diesel, they are very torquey, and so is this. Very torquey, 212 pound-feet of torque. See, this lock has a little protection for weather, so if it's icy or maybe wet, kind of protecting your lock mechanism. I guess this particular one was found by a Nissan employee who may have since retired and restored, and this is now part of the Nissan Heritage Collection. I love this design also. The front windscreen has one latch here, one latch on the other side, and you can really fold it down. You could take the roof off. It kind of separates, not very easily, but it does separate. And then you can kind of go with a topless windscreen down machine in a safari mode. Here you can see the tires and the front hubs. These are dual-matic, selectable locking hubs here. And of course, a real frame that runs underneath. You can kind of see it right there. And that's another similarity. The third similarity is that that's a frame-based, very large, full-size SUV with 3 rows of seats. And of course, it started out as a frame-based, 2-door SUV, actually, as far as this one is concerned. I think it's very handsome. Let me know in the comments below what you think. This has hand crank, so you could hand crank start it if maybe your battery is low or the starter may not be working. Very torquey, 3-speed manual transmission, like I said. And these were not high-speed machines. These were kind of utilitarian work vehicles. This one does have a hitch. I don't know what the tow rating is. Right here. And also this rear door, I cannot fully open this, but it basically unlatches like this and opens. And I don't want to mess with this too much while I'm here by myself, because Nissan Heritage Collection folks they might get angry at me, because this is kind of very pristine, very, very restored condition of this little guy. So they're both frame-based. They both have 6-cylinder engines, and they both have push-button starts. Yes, but mainly the point is that a lot of people don't know that the Nissan Patrol has been available around the world for decades, and it actually was available here in the United States. I didn't know that, and now you can get up close and personal. And of course, as with any vehicle, you kind of have to experience one of these in person. If you don't, it's kind of hard to convey, but I'm hoping you're getting a sense of this vehicle. The hood right here, very easy, very simple lines, but it just draws people in. There are a few people that came by here today, and I overheard them speaking, and their eye was drawn to this one of the original Nissan Patrols here. Well, there you have it. A quick look about old versus new. I hope you can see all the features that this new Armada is actually offering. I told you a little bit about the pricing. There's a new Pro 4X that starts at a similar price to this Platinum Reserve. It has a little bit more interior space. It's available for sale basically now. So Nissan says that within a week or two, in December of 2024, these are arriving. They're built in Japan. They're being shipped here. And you can kind of see here, the spare tire is actually underneath the vehicle. Traditionally speaking, there's a little storage compartment. You can move your seats. You can move your suspension. Here's kind of what it looks like from the back. So these are arriving in dealers right now, or very, very soon after the final quality checks. And yeah, you should be able to actually test drive these, pick these up, and select the version of the Armada that's best for you. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time.